Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Misermani G. Yes, it's time for me to review the latest Eli Roth film. Yes, this is Ice Cream Man. I watched this film so you don't have to.
Y'all ready for this? Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Misermani.
Now, Ice Cream Man is a 2026 American slasher film. It was directed by Eli Roth. It was written by Eli Roth and Noah Belson. The film stars Charlie Zeltzer, Corey Mitra Waldman, Sheila O'Reilly, and Sarah Abbott. Now, in this film, an idyllic summer town descends into madness when an ice cream man serves kids sweet delights with horrifying results. No, no. Now, horror fans, when it comes to horror films, one of the more interesting and complex premises is when children are the main antagonist. I mean, let's face it, children are supposed to be cute, innocent, and docile, and there's no way a child would be capable of doing something vicious and violent like killing people. Oh, hell no, not a child. No way. However, we've had our fair share of horror films where children are the killers, such as Village of the Damned, be it the 1960 film or its 1995 remake starring Christopher Reeves and Christy Alley, obviously Children of the Corn, The Good Son, and Orphan, just to name a few. In all those films, the children committed several acts of violence against adults or other children, some in very gross and horrific and terrifying ways. These children were no joke. And now, veteran horror filmmaker Eli Roth brings us his latest project and entry into this kind of premise in horror films. This one is called Ice Cream Man, not to be confused with the I think it was 84 movie at the same time starring Clint Howard. Not that one. Now we're introduced to an idyllic town called Balin Bay, where the kids are in the last day of school and about to enjoy the summer vacation. Now, while some of the kids are playing a baseball game, an ice cream truck comes by, giving out ice cream cones and all kinds of sweets to all the kids running up into the truck. Typical ice cream. They come running in the truck just like Eddie Murphy's ice cream. I got some ice cream. However, later that night, the truck drives by through the town, awakening the children who have eaten the treats, and they viciously murdered their parents in some very gruesome ways. I'm not spoiling anything. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. Now, Jared and his fellow classmates Tommy and Mia, who haven't eaten the treats, notice the strange behavior of the other kids when they go to school. As the ice cream truck returns, all the children who have eaten the treats go on a violent rampage, killing all the adults and forcing other children to eat the treats as the town descends into madness and chaos. All right, horror fans, you know I go out of my way not to watch reviews from YouTubers on YouTube from other content creators so that my reviews are my own opinions on whether the film is good, bad, or average and is not biased in any other way. That's one thing I always pride myself on to be is that what I'm saying are my own words. I'm not influenced by other reviewers on YouTube. However, you cannot ignore the thumbnails that appear in your feed, and I saw a few of them that were saying how bad, awful, and terrible this film was. So I said to myself, this film can't be that bad because I've seen some bad horror films, and me obviously being a fan of Eli Roth, I've enjoyed all of his movies. But after watching this film, I can honestly say that this was the worst horror film I've seen so far this year. This film is terrible. I mean, not only is this film terrible, but there's another aspect about this film that is so bad. I'm pretty sure you probably heard the controversy about this film. I'll talk about that later on my own in this review. Now, what's sad about this film is that it was directed and written by Eli Roth, who has given us plenty of decent horror films. Now, I'm not saying Eli Roth is a fantastic director. That's far from it. But we've all enjoyed what Eli Roth has done for the horror films. All of his films contain some very over the top gore and blood and all this other ultra violence in all of his films. That's just how Eli Roth does, and that's why we like his films. But this is his worst film ever. I mean, he's given us Cabin Fever. I mean, we certainly can't forget about
Pancakes!
then, of course, we have Hostel and The Green Inferno, films that give us plenty of gore, violence, and some very interesting characters, just like I said before. Now, of course, you gorehounds are going to love this because we do have plenty of gore and violence in this film, mainly over the top violence that would make Art the Clown envious. And what I do mean, there are some very disturbing imagery, not imagery, I would say there's some very violent, some very gore effects, some very violent things that these kids do. I mean, when the children start killing, they do more damage than the children from Children of the Corn or the children from the 2008 British horror film called The Children. I mean, these kids are no joke. I mean, there is one particular scene where you have the main, I think it's Jared, Mia, and Tommy are running in the play yard, and all you see is kids just killing adults or trying to force the other kids to eat the ice cream, and they're just doing very gross shit. I mean, it's just terrible out there. It's very vicious, very visual. There is plenty of blood and gore to satisfy the gorehounds, and since this is an Eli Roth film, plenty of decent practical effects because that's why we like Eli Roth. Eli Roth is known for using practical effects in all his films. I mean, just think Thanksgiving. That film right there was known because he used great practical effects. However, there is no atmosphere. There is no type of tone. There is no kind of suspense or tension that you need for a film like this. I mean, it's like Eli Roth just wanted to make a film that shows children committing all types of vicious acts of violence, but no characters to kill about at all. I mean, you care about nobody in this particular film. I mean, one thing that I have a problem with when you have films such as this one that uses gore so much that you become numb to it by the time you get to the third act of the film, it kind of reminds me of kind of reminds me of, I would say, and not to knock AEW wrestling. I'm just going a little bit off topic here. One of the problems people have with AEW wrestling is that use too much blood. There's a lot of bleeding in most of their and almost all of their matches, whether it's on Dynamite or Collision. That by the time you get to one of their main pay-per-view events, by the time you get to that, and they do the same thing, you just become numb. There's nothing great about it. There's nothing spectacular. I mean, if you're going to do that, you want to spare your audience seeing it all the time. Now, fortunately, I would say that most people who are diehard fans of AEW, they expect that. But the casual wrestling fan doesn't want to see that all the time. And that's the problem I have with Ice Cream Man. Too much gore, no storytelling, no type of a story to frame everything together that it doesn't even give the audience enough time to breathe. I mean, speaking about the characters, we simply do not care about Jared, Tommy, Mia, as Eli and Noah's script doesn't do anything to make the audience care about what happens to them. I mean, it's flat and dull, and we get no type of character development whatsoever. Just random shots of Jared and his friends running here and there around the school to while the chaos continues outside. It's like whether we're in the school or in the playground or anywhere else, all we see is them running around where the children just commit violent acts. There's even one kid that's not doing snow angels, she's doing blood angels. Again, no spoilers because we've seen it in the trailers. Then we get an exposition dump right around the third act on the film on why this is happening when it's something we've seen before in other horror films. It doesn't add anything at all to the story. One of the worst parts of the film is the use of AI imagery. It is a total shame that Eli and his team should be called out for doing this. Now, Eli first admitted that he did not use AI imagery, but unfortunately, one of the studios that got contracted out was a company known for using AI imagery, so he had to walk it back and say, okay, there's AI imagery used in this particular film. Some people have said, from what I've heard, that some of the AI imagery is used in some type of animation in this particular film. I think it has to do more with the flashbacks that take place in the third act of the film. If you see the film, you know what I'm talking about. But again, it's just a terrible way to cut out people who probably would have done better if they would use CGI effects. At least those people would have got paid. That's my main thing when it comes to using AI imagery. It's like this. I know we're not going to be able to escape it. Netflix has just admitted that some of their TV shows use AI imagery. We're not going to escape it, but still, just to cut out or to save some bucks is a terrible way to become a filmmaker. I mean, this film is bad enough with the terrible script, bad acting, and you really can't fault the child actors. It's not their fault, and the lackluster ending. And you want to save money for this crap of a film? You, Eli Roth, I expect better of you to make a decent film than the crap that you just put out here. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this particular film. It's just terrible, terrible, terrible. I mean, there's one scene in particular where we get to see Jared and his mother and sister at the dinner table. None of their conversation makes any sense. And I guess he thought there was supposed to be some type of bonding moment in this particular film. But what they're discussing doesn't make any sense. And then there's another problem in this particular film when it comes to the Mia character. Basically, there's a part of the film where she eats the ice cream, but she throws it up and she makes a comment about, oh, maybe I know how to throw up since I'm a 12-year-old girl, which is not a great thing to promote or to write about a 12-year-old girl suffering from bulimia. I mean, that's not a good way. You could have at least tried to come up with something a little bit more better. I guess he thought that was supposed to be funny. I don't know if he or Noah came up with that, but that's just terrible. So, like I said earlier, this is the worst horror film I've seen so far this year. It is terribly written, badly acted, and the use of AI, just to save a buck, makes it even worse. So, I'm going to give Ice Cream Man a fat zero, nada, zip, zilch of the miser's five bloody gold coins. Obviously, this will be my top 10 worst horror films of the year. This is a very terrible film. I suggest you do not watch it unless you just want to see some of the worst. I mean, you want to see some kids do some despicable stuff to other human beings. If you're a gore hound, if you want to see some decent gore effects, especially in the playground scene, you'll see it when they're going to talk about, especially what the kids are doing with some of the stuff that they do from the human bodies. It's funny at times. I chuckled a little bit at seeing what they were doing, but it doesn't add anything to the film. It was like he was trying to outdo Art the Clown. So there you have it, my horror fans. That is my review and video of Ice Cream Man. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Have you seen the Ice Cream Man? What do you thought about it? Did you actually enjoy this piece of crap? Leave your comments in the comment section below and tell you what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. That way we notify anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Money G, and always remember, horror rules. And I see you in my next video. Guys, stay safe out there.